Hello from Spoiled Vision Movie Recaps. Today, we delve into an episode from the American adult animated anthology Love, Death, and Robots titled The Drowned Giant. The episode kicks off with three scientists embarking on a journey to a coastal area. Steven, one of the scientists, narrates the discovery of a deceased giant washed ashore. The giant's arrival follows a massive storm that hit the sea the day before. Initially met with skepticism by local fishermen who reported the unbelievable find, the scientists decide to investigate after hearing bizarre accounts from beachgoers. Steven and his colleagues, once doubting the existence of the dead giant, now find themselves standing before it, alongside a curious crowd. Surrounded by onlookers, all hesitant to approach the giant, Steven's colleagues estimate the giant's weight at approximately 80 tons. The giant's distinctive facial features make it challenging to determine its age, but Steven believes it was once a young man with a calm demeanor. The scientists meticulously inspect the giant's massive form. Steven observes a pool of water collected in the giant's palm, where tiny fish swim. What astounds him most isn't just the giant's size, but its sheer existence. He contrasts the giant's presence with the crowd on the beach, viewing them as imperfect and insignificant replicas of this colossal being. While Steven is captivated by the giant, his colleague climbs onto the giant's chest and signals to the crowd that it's safe to approach. People rush forward, cheering and clambering onto the giant. Some comment on the giant's rubbery and bouncy texture, while children playfully jump on his chest, leaving scuff marks with their shoes. However, Steven refrains from touching or climbing on the giant. He and his colleagues maintain a distance, making notes in their records. As time passes, the novelty wanes, and the crowd disperses, returning to their homes. 3 days later, Steven revisits the beach, as he has been tasked with monitoring the giant due to his growing fascination. To him, the giant feels more alive than the people surrounding him. He observes kids sliding down the giant's chest and some workers planning to extract its femur bone. The giant's body has become public property. The next day, Steven intentionally delays his visit until late afternoon, ensuring no one else is around. When he arrives, he witnesses the giant in a deteriorating state, showing signs of decay. A teenage girl comfortably perches on the giant's ear, using it as an impromptu seat. Steven observes that the giant's face has lost much of its youthful appearance, likely due to prolonged exposure to seawater and tissue swelling. As a crab emerges from the giant's mouth, Steven predicts that it won't be long before complete decay sets in. Summoning his courage, Steven steps onto the giant's corpse. On its chest, he notices a sandcastle someone had constructed. However, as he shifts his gaze to the giant's other arm, he sees that half of it has already succumbed to decay, with the rest taken by onlookers. Furthermore, the giant's cornea has grown hazy and cloudy, imparting a whirlpool-like effect to its eyes. Steven contemplates this, remarking that the giant's suffering is overshadowed by the profound isolation it faces. During his subsequent visit, both of the giant's arms and one of its legs have decayed and been removed. Steven surveys the corpse, vandalized by teenagers who've spray-painted insults on its body. This degradation makes the creature seem more human and vulnerable to him. Returning to the beach the next day, Steven is almost relieved to find the giant's head has been severed. Birds feed on its flesh while he watches from a distance. Without its head, the giant's humanity diminishes in Steven's eyes, weakening his connection with the once majestic creature. Following this, he refrains from visiting the beach for several weeks. Upon his return, he observes that all indications of the giant's former humanity have disappeared. Only the decaying remnants of the once magnificent creature's gut remain. Interest in the giant wanes among the townsfolk. Months later, after the giant's presence has faded into obscurity, various parts of its body can be found throughout town, particularly its bones, repurposed as decorations. While cycling one day, Steven notices the giant's abandoned skull. He believes that if he explores the town's pubs, he might discover mummified noses and ears, which, in Steven's view, better convey the giant's greatness than his recollection of its bloated, decaying appendages. Regarding the giant's genitals, they were severed and placed in a freak museum within a circus. Steven narrates that this exhibit occupies an entire tent, but is sadly mislabeled as belonging to a whale. In the end, the people who encountered the giant only remember it as a sea monster. However, for Stephen, the giant remains alive in his dreams, and he often envisions its resurrection. In his dreams, the giant strides through the town, collecting his scattered fragments on his journey back to the sea. This brief episode carries profound metaphorical undertones in every scene. Fans of the episode have interpreted it in various ways, with many speculating that the narrator, Stephen, may be the giant himself. Some viewers believe that Stephen and the giant are one and the same, as he seems to feel the giant's pain when no one else can. This leads to the notion that the giant might be attempting to communicate through Stephen. Furthermore, Stephen's meticulous descriptions of the different stages of the corpse's decay raise questions about whether he is undergoing these stages himself. The decaying of the giant's corpse serves as a metaphor for several aspects of human existence. Stephen, the narrator, closely observes each stage of decay. Initially, he witnesses the natural process of the body breaking down over time, followed by the disturbing sight of people amputating the corpse, treating it as a mere commodity. This highlights the extent of consumerism and exploitation that is often considered normal in today's world. As the story unfolds, Stephen begins to ponder what it truly means to be human and when we lose our humanity. While the giant still had a head, Stephen perceived it as a fellow human being, even more human than the smaller creatures around him. However, his sympathy for the giant wanes when he views it solely as a mass of flesh. Throughout the episode, the giant's identity and origin remain shrouded in mystery. The Drowned Giant primarily explores the contrast between Stephen's feelings toward the giant and those of other people. In the book by J.G. Ballard, the narrative concludes with the giant's appendage being exhibited in a circus, emphasizing the giant's humiliation despite being a superior existence. This underscores human superficiality and exploitative tendencies. The giant's genitals are mislabeled as belonging to a whale, and his bones are reduced to mere decorations for people. It becomes evident that the giant has been completely stripped of his humanity. However, Stephen regards the genitals and decorated bones as the only remnants that truly convey the magnificence of the giant. Although he cherishes and remembers the creature more than anyone else, Stephen believes that his memory of the giant's decaying body would never capture its greatness as effectively as the preserved body parts do. The giant was merely a myth before washing ashore, briefly experienced by people before fading into obscurity, becoming a myth once again. Just like the giant, humans will eventually fade away, residing only in the memories of those they encountered. Over time, even these memories will fade, and they will simply cease to exist. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notification for more movie recaps.